Hello. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hello, all. Hello. A very good morning to all of you. I'm audible? Okay. Thank you very much for joining this meeting. Now, today, instead of wasting our time, we can directly start with our practical part B for the pi. Now, as PIL is having the two parts, PIL part 1 and part 2. So just wait. Are you able to see the PPT presentation? Is it visible? Okay, fine. So in part B, 3 assignments today we are going to discuss. And these 3 assignments are nothing but assignment number 7, assignment number 8, and assignment number 9. Assignment number 7 and 8, almost all of you have implemented in our lab. Assignment number 9 is not implemented by you in a lab, but today, instead of starting with the assignment 9, I will start with the assignment number 7, then 8, and then 9. We will discuss in a short, we will discuss about the assignment number 7 and 8 also, and then we'll go for the assignment number 9. Now, assignment number 7, that is write 8051 ALP to add n-bit numbers found in internal RAM location. So now it's very simple assignment. That is, in that assignment, just wait. In this assignment, here, for assignment number 7 onwards, for onwards 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, we need a Keil simulator to simulate this assignment. 8051 is a microcontroller. All of you know that. It's a microcontroller. So 8051 is a microcontroller. Now this microcontroller, hello, someone's speaker is on. Just mute your speaker, please. Please cooperate with this presentation and this meeting. Okay, so can I start? So 8051 is a 8-bit microcontroller. All of you know that. And it's having 256 byte internal memory. And you can say it's 128, but remaining 128 byte is used for an special function register as a special function register. So whatever this RAM is that we are using to store the internal data value or to store the data values. So now here, what is our program is 8-bit number found in an internal RAM location at a 48. So you can use any location from 000 to 128. So any location you can use, but it says that you use an 48 onwards memory location. So you can consider 48 or you can consider 00. So it's just a part of a program. So now in this program, basically addition is actually expected. Now we can use a simulator for this purpose. So now how to use a simulator? So for that purpose, now just wait. Now this is what a simulator we are using. So this is an kill simulator. All of you know how to start this kill simulator. Can I explain that kill simulator, how to start this? Or can I go ahead? Yes? Can I explain this kill simulator, how to open, how to start? Or can I directly start with the explanation of this assignment? Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what is expected? Can I explain how to start this skill?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. Now I will show you my screen. Just wait. Just wait. Okay. I cannot open this. Okay, fine. We'll directly start with the kill. One minute. Huh? Now, where is my kill? Wait. So, now here, there is an option called as a project. In that option, a new project is there. So you just click on the new project and you give a valid name to your .uv2 file. Now this is an .uv2 file is a project file. So this project file, for that you give any valid name. So suppose I'm giving here assignment number 7 is already created by me. So I'm just giving another name to my project and that is assignment number 7.1. I said okay. So I save my project. Now it is asking me the device, select the device. So I say Philips. So Philips, why we are using a Philips only, that already explained in the class. So in our lab, whatever the kit we are using, that is from the Philips, and that's why we have to select a device from the Philips, and that device number is nothing but P89V51RD2. So you have to select this number only for all the assignment of a part 2. Okay, so say okay. This standard code is by default added in your project. You can say yes or no, there's no problem with this startup.a51. Now a plus sign you are able to see here in the target one. After that, in this, a startup.a51, this file is added. Now you can start with a new file, but now just we are creating a project, but we are not creating our own code. So I said new text file. Now this is what a new text file is. Now in this text file, you write your code. Now I'm not writing the whole code again. My code is already there with me. So I'm just taking that code and this code is added here in this text file. Now this is a text file, but this text file is not added in your source group. So what you need to do, first of all, you save your file. So say save as, and then give a valid name to your file. So I just said ki add 12 and A51. So the extension is .a51 because this is an extension required for your 8051 program. So this file, the text file, is given an extension with the A51. I said save, and this file is saved. You can able to get the color of labels are changed now, and here in this program some instructions we are writing. Fine, it's okay. I will explain you the program afterwards. But how to add this program? So you click on the source group. You say add files. Okay. Now whatever the file which you have created, so that file you just find out. So right now we are creating this add12 file .a51. So I'm just adding this file, close this window. This file is added into our source group one. Now, after adding this program, then target one, click on this, say options, and here you give the frequency. You all of you know what is a frequency range. So frequency is 11.0592. So you give that frequency, say okay, close this, and now build your program. Now, after building your program, you will get a 0 errors, 3 warnings type of thing on your screen. Now, for that purpose, here what you do, your program is now able to execute. So how to execute that program? How to get the output of that program? So to get the output of that program, here you said a start and debug session. Then it gives you the evaluation version wala one screen. Just say okay, don't do anything with that screen. Now here you are getting one address window. If you are not able to get this address window, the thing is in the view option, multiple options are there: symbol window, serial window, then memory window. So from this you just select a memory window. This memory window will be added into your code. Okay, so this memory window you are able to get. Now this memory window, here you just say I colon 0000 over there and say enter. Okay, so this is nothing but I stands for internal memory. 0000 is nothing but it's just an address, memory location from your internal memory. Now you know that 4K internal ROM is there. Now code memory and data memory is the two part of your program. Now in your program, whatever the things you are writing, okay, whatever these things you are writing, that you are writing in a RAM. That you are writing into a RAM. And now here the program is already this program you are writing, and this memory locations are taken, okay, by the program. Now here R000, the program, in this program, now I will explain you the program, then we'll check the output. So our program started with originate 00 is, that means you are starting with the location collision, memory location collision 00. ljump start, nothing but here you are starting with this label. In the R3, the hash is used in the program. Hash is nothing but that is the immediate value, which is known to you very well. R0 is nothing but this is an from this memory location we want to start to store the value, actual value. And R3 is nothing but in the R3 we are just keeping a counter. So our counter is 5. So this is an counter we are considering into an R3 register. R0 is started with 00. Okay, and then here in this instruction back is there, and here what we are doing, add a comma R0. So you know that the instructions add, multiply, divide, subtraction all required accumulator. Add and subtractions, these instructions required accumulator. Multiplication and division require accumulator as well as B register. This is a most important thing for the practical approach, because this program is with the 10 or 12 or 15 lines only. It's not sufficient. Okay, so how you will explain yourself, okay, or how you will face your oral? So for that purpose you should know which are the other arithmetic instructions present, what they are using, and how to write that or how to use in our 8051. So your program is only with the addition. Okay, don't stop yourself with the addition. You do multiplication, you try multiplication, you try division, you try subtraction also. Okay, you know all the instruction from 8051. The code is a very small in a 8051, so you can check that also. Now here they use the here in this program we are using R0 R3 move instructions. There is no need to explain because you know very well this move instruction. So what I'm doing here, R0 and R3, in that we are considering 00 and 05 value as an counter and as an first memory location. Fine, now we are adding, just wait. Hello Bhavesh, what do you want to say here with the dot zero? Any problem? Hello? Hello? Hello all. Are you with me? Okay, okay, fine. Thank you. So here we are considering this R0, that is a register R0. Now you know that R0 to R7, this registers is a one byte register from your register bank 0, register bank 1, register bank 2, register bank 3. I'm repeated these things many times in the class also. So instead of explaining that, I want to concentrate today on a serial port programming also. So I'm just discussing in short with this assignment. So this register bank, now here, which register bank is used? You can tell me. So register bank 0 is used by default because you are not setting any PSW bit. If you are setting any bit from PSW point 3 or PSW point 4, then in that case, you are using any other register bank than 0 register bank. Okay, so the register bank 0 is used by default if you are not selecting or if you are not setting a value of PSW point 3 and PSW point 4. Now, add we are doing, accumulator is required. One value is present in a R0 with the memory location called as 00. Then we are incrementing this R0. Are you with me? So here we are incrementing R0 and decrement jump if not 0 with the R3. R3 is used just as an counter. So we are just checking the R3 value again and again. It's monitoring, just keeping track of 5 values. Okay, from 00 location to 01, 02, 03, 04, like this, and then we are moving the last or the final result into R6 register. This is what the smallest code for your assignment number 7. Okay, fine. Now here you are getting a project window. If you are not able to see the project window, again I am repeating, see, many options are available with your kill software. So in that the view option is available. So in the view there is an option called as an project window. So you can click on this project window. This project window is right now, it's already open. Now it's gone. Now you again open, you click on this, the project window is present over there. Okay, fine. Any problem? So this is what the things present in your project window. Now in project window, the registers are present. Now this register R0 to R7 is from register bank 0. A and B, accumulator, and B register. This is a stack pointer. PC is a program counter, and PSW is present. So just click on this plus sign. You are getting all the bits which are present in PSW, and these bits are, if in your because of your add instruction, if anything changes, any because of that the parity occurs, or it will generate a carry flag, or it will generate an auxiliary carry flag, then that time this bit will set as an 1, otherwise this bit will keep as an 0 only in the PSW. Now in this PSW, this RS0, it's having, actually it is taking the 2 bit from the PSW, bit number 3, bit number 3 and bit number 4. So right now 0, I said the register bank 0 is used, and that's why here 0 is there. Now here this memory location 0000 like this. So now to execute this program, to show the execution of this program, you say start. Okay, and after this, so here you are already in a debug mode. Okay, so just click in the step into type of option. So you are getting your yellow type of cursor on the first instructions from your program, and the first instruction is R3 with 05. So after doing this, you can able to see R3 with the 05. Now the next is here 00 location. So 00 location, now here you can keep the value in this memory, at this memory location. So I'm just considering the value 01 like this. Double click, you can either double click on this value, or here right click and say it is showing the fine. So right now here I am saying 02 like this value I'm considering here. Okay, changing the value 03. Okay. Now it's giving me the things. So here 04 and 05. So in this way you can keep the 5 different values here at this 5 different memory location. And now here, see, the first instruction is add instruction. Your yellow cursor is coming here. Add a comma r0. It will take that adding that value r0 ka value. The first value we are considering and 00, and that's why you are not able to see any value into an accumulator. Fine, it's okay, no problem. Okay, so in this way it will add 01, 02, 03, 04, 05 value, and you will get the output 15 into an into your into your accumulator. Now in this program there is a mistake. In a R3 we are considering 05 value, and afterwards we are changing the value of R3 register. So instead of keeping the value into R3 register, the counter value, you can keep that into an R7, because if you want a 5 values, first 5 values, then you keep R0 to R4, okay, for your add operation, and you keep your counter variable into the R6 or R7 register. Okay, fine, getting this. And at the last, whatever the value you are getting,
all other nodes in. You understand this? Hello?
so in this way you can add the value, and this R3 is automatically decremented, and then you will get the result into the accumulator and final result into the R6 register. Now the another way to implement the same assignment, so the another way to implement the same assignment is here, this add program. Okay, you can do for 8-bit addition, which we are normally doing with the add instruction. You can do with the 16-bit addition. So if you are doing with the 16-bit addition, the lower byte and higher byte, these two type of thing you are getting. So you first add the lower byte of your value. That means that time your value is not with 00 to FF. Your value is 0000 to 4 times FFFF. So you first consider here the lower byte from your 16-bit value, and then you consider the higher byte from your 16-bit value. And then at that time you consider the add C instruction instead of only add instruction, because maybe in your lower byte addition you will get a carry. So if you are getting a carry over there, then that time here to add this carry also, for the whenever you are doing the addition of a higher byte, you require this add C instruction. Now to if you want to use a subtraction, then that time you use SUBB. SUB instruction is not at all present in 8051. Again I am repeating, SUB is not present. SUB is a part of 80386, but here it is not a part of 8051. So you have to compulsory use SUBB. So maybe the external will give you this type of modification in your program. You are writing a code like this. Okay, fine. With the basic assignment, it is very good, but you will get only 25 to 30 marks for this type of code. Because see, if you want the marks more than 40, then you have to do something more or extra in your program. So you can try with the subtraction, you can try with the register bank. You select the different register bank in your program. You can try with the multiplication like this. In this code the multiplication is done. So what you have to do, you have to take accumulator, one value into accumulator, another value into the B register, and then you do the addition of you do the multiplication of this. Then in accumulator the lower value will come into an accumulator and higher value will come into an B register, and then you just move that value into the register called as an R6, R7 or any register from R0 to R7. Are you getting this addition wala program? Because many of you are selecting or choosing this 8051 ka program assignment number 7. Ma'am, please give us the assignment number 7. So assignment number 7, you feel that this assignment number 7 is only with the 10 lines or 12 lines, but With that, if you will do this type of modifications or add extra code in your program, then definitely you will get good marks in your final practical exam. Right? Any problem? Anything which you want to ask about this program? Anything you are not getting? Yes? Yes, all of you are with me? Getting this code, can I go ahead with the next assignment? Because assignment number 8 is a very small assignment. I'm giving you the practical approach also for this assignment, for the final practical exam, what to do and what are the modifications may be given to you from the external or from the internal, and which you can implement in your code. Okay, fine. So I will go with the next assignment. I will go ahead with the next assignment called as an assignment number 8. Now, so our next part of our today's presentation is assignment number 8. The assignment number 8 is nothing but a block transfer assignment. That is just internal to internal memory and internal to external memory, which is the smallest code in your program. The smallest, it is very small, and it is very easy to implement from the other code or from the other program. Now, internal to internal, basic thing which you have to consider in this assignment, just wait, is 1 minute. I have to stop my execution, so I'm just stopping my execution. I'm opening a new project called as an assignment number 8. Okay, I have already created that and I said open. Okay, so assignment number 8 is open right now. Wait. So assignment number 8, in that internal to internal, internal to external. Now see, internal to internal, you use any memory location from 00 to 128 byte. Now internal to external, only in that case, the most important thing you have to consider that you have to use this line called as an DPTR. This DPTR line is a most important thing. And here in a DPTR, we are not considering a memory location called as an hash FFH, okay, up to 256, or any memory location within the 256. So we are considering the memory location, like here we are using 6000H. So this memory location, why we are able to use this memory location? Because right now in our whatever the terminal we are using, whatever the PC we are using, that is not having with the RAM only with the 128 byte or with the 256. It is having with the byte with the like 4 GB RAM is there or 8 GB RAM is there. So because of that, right now I'm just DPTR, that is a DPTR value I'm setting with the 6000. Okay, hash is nothing but its immediate value. Now, whenever you are using a DPTR in your program, the most important thing is you have to use this MOVX instruction. Whenever you are doing the internal to internal data transfer, you just say move instruction. If you are using internal to external or external to internal, in both the case, you use move X instruction. Now, incrementing, now we again here what we are doing, we are considering a 5 different location, and that 5 different locations are started with 40. If you are using internal to internal, one is R0, another one is R1. That's first memory location is started with 40, second is started with 50. So what you are doing at the rate of R0. So at the 40, whatever program is not visible, just wait. Are you able to see the screen, Kill? Okay, fine. I will just close the notepad. Just wait. Fine. Now it is visible. Wait. Are you able to see the screen now?
graph remains same. Only
Yes.
ones are replaced by the cost.
Okay, fine. Now see in this code, R0, R3, DPTR, and R1. The font is visible to all of you. Any problem with the font? Okay, so now here this R0, R3, DPTR, and R1. Before this, the assignment number 7, in that we are using only register from R0 to R7. Now we are using DPTR, one more register. So this DPTR is a 16-bit. Always remember this thing. It's a 16-bit. It's a question from oral point of view. And that's why I can put a 16-bit value into this DPTR. You can use this DPTR in the two part as an DPTH and DPR. So the thing is that right now we want a 16-bit value, and that's why we are using a DPTR, the whole register. Now, at the rate of R0, at the rate of DPTR, that means whatever the value is present in a at the rate of R0, that means at the 40, that value you move into an A register, and then from A to the at the rate of 6000 at that memory location, you just put that value, you just move that value. So you are moving the value from 40 onwards to the location called as 6000. So now to check the execution of this program, again you say the debug start. Okay, then here 6000. First of all, I have to take the memory location I0000. Okay, fine. And at the 40th, so I want a 40, so I said a 40 here. Okay, so I'm getting that memory location. Just wait 1 minute. Okay, so suppose this is an, just right click over there and just find out which is my memory location. I will show you one value only because time is very less for the next assignment. So I'm taking a 12 here. I'm putting the 12 value and it's changing into an hexadecimal, and that's why you can able to see 0C here at this memory location called as 40. Now I just say step into, okay, and now it's moving to a memory location called as 6000. So I'm just how to get that external memory access. So you just say X colon and then 6000. Okay, so that's memory location. You are able to see the different memory location. From this you have to select 6000. So 6000 where you will get like this here. Okay, now this is a series of 5F. So I said go ahead. Okay, 5F ke baad 6000. Now it started. So somewhere here now you are able to see 0C here. All of you getting its transfer, it's moving the value from the memory location called as 40. Oh, there we put the value 12, that is 0C in a hexadecimal, and now we are shifted that to the memory location called as 6000, which is an external memory location. Are you with me, all of you? Assignment number 8. All of you getting the assignment number 8? Any question, any doubt? If you have, please ask me through the chat. Hello? Any problem with this assignment? Assignment number 7, assignment number 8. Can I start with the assignment number 9, which is the most important assignment from our point of view? Okay, fine. Very good.
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. Now see. Now the next assignment, which is the most important assignment, that is called as an assignment number 9, serial port programming. Now it says that ISR based. Already in a last Zoom meeting, I have discussed about the serial port programming. Some of you are attended that meeting. Fine, very good. Thanks for your cooperation. Now, in a serial port programming, basically we want to transfer the characters, some characters from our program to the 8051. Now, this serial port programming from this assignment number 9 onwards, that is assignment number 9, assignment number 10, and assignment number 11 are interfacing assignment. What do you mean by interfacing assignment? Interfacing assignment means in a simulator we are writing a program, we are creating a hex file of that program, burning that hex file on our 8051 kit, and then that 8051 will transfer because it's a serial port. So it will transfer, 8051 will transfer the characters which are given in our program to our terminal. So to our terminal means what? We will use a terminal window, and on that terminal window, okay, like a flash ka terminal window or hyper terminal or kill software terminal, or there we can able to see the string continuously coming on the screen called as an PICT. So in my program I'm using a PICT. In your program you can use your name, you can transfer PICT or you can transfer SCTR. So whatever the characters you want to transfer that, or you want to print on the screen, that you can give in your serial port programming. Now, to start a serial port programming, here, instead of going into in detail with the theory, I will directly start with the baud rate. So 9600, this is a baud rate which is required in our program. I will start with the kill simulation basically, because that is the most important thing. So here I'm opening a new project, and that project is serial. So I said serial. I just already exist. So okay, fine. I said cancel. I want to open a project now. So instead of new project, I said open serial. Oh God, it's over. Okay, fine. So I'm just creating a new project. Okay, and that is a serial. I say save. Okay, and I'm selecting a Philips. Fine, again, fast. The next part is you have to select a device. So I'm selecting that device. I say okay, fine, yes, yes, okay. Now this is what an now I said file. Here this file is, and I will write a I will add a file into this project. So I say open. Already my .a51 serial file is present, so I just add that file in my program. I have to search that file. So it is exchange, no exchange. Where is the serial? Now I'm getting here serial. So I say serial. I say open. Fine. This is what a code is. So I'm just closing this text window, and now this is what a code available here. Now basically this code I will share with you also. Okay, you will get this code. Now how to execute, the most important step. Okay, then I will explain this program, because this program I will explain later on, but first we will add this. So I said source group pe add. So add the file called as a serial. So serial, I'm selecting this serial. I say add. Okay, close this. The serial A51 is right now added in our code project. Then say options mein the frequency 11.0592. I will show you the execution first, and then I will explain you the program. I say okay. Okay, the serial file is added. Now I said build. Okay, the build, it will build the program, and 0 errors, 3 warning. How to check the output? Now you just say start and debug. Okay, because here memory window is not at all required, so I'm just closing this memory window. Fine, no problem, and minimizing this output window. Now I need, what are the things I required here? I need a serial, so I said serial. I'm just opening here the serial channel. After that, you can check the output in the window called as an serial window. So I'm just opening this serial window. Are you able to see the serial window? Okay, now I will show you the execution first. Okay, starting with the program, and now I say directly run. Okay, we'll check the value afterwards.
Good luck.
Hello, I'm audible. Now it's not Gundler. Okay, thank you. Now see, This is called as a serial window. Now you can able to see PICT star again and again in this window. And in a serial channel also, the values are continuously changing in a SBUF register. Okay. In from theory point of view, we'll go later on. But right now, the output which is expected. Okay, fine. Fine. Really you want? Then I will show you. Now it is visible or not? The simulator is visible or not to you? Okay, fine. Now here, we have only 4 minutes, fine. So I said debug, say start and stop, click on this. Okay. After clicking on this, just wait. I have to stop the execution. Now start and stop. Okay. Now I say start and stop. Okay. It started with debug option. Serial channel window. How I'm getting this window? In a peripherals, there is an option called as a serial. From that, you can open a serial channel wala window. So in that SBUF, SCON, all registers you can able to monitor. Now, the another thing is, I have shown you the execution, direct the running thing of your code through the serial window. So here there is an option called as a serial window. Just open this serial window. Serial window is right now blank. Okay. Now, what you do? Step into. You start your debugging. Go here in a debug option. Say run. Okay. Right now the SBUF ka value is 0, 0. Say run. It will run. Okay. You can able to check the value in a SBUF register. Through the simulator also you can able to. 1 minute. Shlok, just open the door. My internet is going. You can able to monitor the different values in a SBUF register. You can able to see the different values in a SBUF register. Now, in the serial window, that screen, okay, so this is what an serial window. 1 minute. कहाँ पे गया वो serial window वाला screen? Wait. This is what an serial window wala screen. This is an serial channel wala screen. This two screen is most important thing. Without the 8051 kit, you can simulate this program. So through this serial window and through this serial channel, you can simulate simulate your program. See here in a serial window, you are able to see the PICT string continuously coming. And in your SBUF register, you can able to get the different values. Okay, these are nothing but this is an ASCII value of your PICT. P, then I, then C, then T, and then star. This is an ASCII value of your PICT that comes into an SBUF register, and then that value is printed on your serial window. All of you getting any problem? Because here this meeting ends after 1 minute. If you have any problem, you can ask me through the. What is the question? Is there a way to send input characters so that we can use receive and store into register? Send input character. We are sending the input characters because in our program only this PICT characters are there. So we are sending this input character, and then that character are saved automatically. I mean external input. Okay. So if you want to get that in an through that in a external input, okay, fine. So you can use a port. So instead of directly giving here 050, this ASCII value of P or ASCII value of I, you can take the value through the port, and you can pass that to the accumulator, and after that you can pass to that SBUF. I already shared the kill simulator with you. So that through that kill simulator, you are not able to add the Phillips. Which version you are using? Okay. Okay. So over there, I have to check which other than Philips, maybe other than Philips, the other you can say devices are available. So you just go on and in on a Google, you can check that. Just wait. Huh? The meeting is continued after the 45 minutes also. Anyone have any idea? Okay, fine. Fine. So instead of taking your time, I will just tell you in this program, the register from a SFR, which we are using, called as an TMOD register, TH1 register, SCON register. I already circulated the kill. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Okay, fine. So I already circulated a kill through the Moodle to you all. Okay, that whatever the kill simulator which we are using in our lab, that kill simulator ka version I already circulated. Okay, in your on Moodle. Okay, so you just download from the Moodle. If you are not able to download, I will circulate that through the mail also. Okay, and you can check the execution of assignment number 9, assignment number 10, or assignment number 11. Okay, on your terminal. It is there in NXE instead of Philips. Okay, it is the same as an unit. Okay, fine. Thank you, Tanay. Thank you very much for sharing this information with me. Okay, because here on my terminal this U Vision 3 is there, so I don't know anything about this U Vision 5, but you share this information, and I think it is helpful for all of you. Okay, now in this program, basically this program, I just say stop, so it will stop the serial window like PICT printing PICT continuously. So what is the important thing in this program? The timer, then TH1 register from the timer only, SCON register from our serial port. The serial port ka SCON register we are using in our program, and SBUF register is using our program. Are you able to see the code? This program is the most important thing. How you see the code you are writing, but you are not able to explain, you will get only the passing marks. You have to explain the code, okay, properly, so or and try to understand this code. So here tmod register is there, scon register is there, th1 is there, tr1 is nothing but from your tcon register. In tcon register tr1 and tr0 is there, which will start your timer. If you are not writing this instruction, your timer is not at all started, and it will overlap the p with the I with the c with the t. So we don't want that type of thing, and that's why we are started our timer with the tr1. The timer is need to start always. We need to start our timer with the tr1 register, we are with the setting bit of tr1. scon is nothing but scon registers. You know the scon register. So this is what an scon register is. Are you able to see my ppt? This is what an scon register is. So in this scon register, here in our program, which value we are putting? We consider the value called as an 50h. Yes, all of you. All of you, are you with me? Thank you very much. So this scon register, what value we are considering? 50. 50 means 101. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. So initially the TI RI bit is 0, 0, RB8 is a 0, TB8 is 0, REN, that is receive enable, that bit is 1, and SM1 is bit is 1. SM0 is 0. So 0, 1. Which mode we are selecting? 0, 1. 0, 1 is mode 1. Mode 1 is selected for our program. Mode 1 is nothing but 8-bit data, 1 stop bit and 1 start bit. This is what an framing, data framing, which we are using in our code. Okay. So in our code, we are giving a value in an SCON register called as an 010150 binary format. Just convert that into an binary format. And initially this transmit interrupt flag and receive interrupt flag, we are considering as an 00, both as an 00. Okay. Getting this? Any doubt for the SCON register? Okay. TMOD register, TH1 register is already shared. So only the SCON register is remaining. So SCON register 50H. Now, this ASCII value we transfer into an accumulator, and then a statement is there called as an call trans. That is a subroutine is called after each character. What it will do? It will move. It will go over here. It will transfer from the value of accumulator into an buffer SBUF register. Buffer SBUF register is always used whenever you transmit and whenever you receive any value through the serial port. Okay, fine. Getting this? Now, whatever the setting you are doing in your program, all you can able to see here in a SCON. Then after this 960096 in a baud rate. Okay, SMOD register, REN register. This is an initial value. Okay, or but right now we are changing the value. That's why you can get this type of value. Now, jump if not beat. Okay, TI. So TI is nothing but transmit interrupt. So whenever the stop bit, whenever program is not visible, fine. 1 minute. Just wait. Now it's visible. Okay. Okay, fine. So now see, SBUF register A, accumulator and SBUF register. So here 50 is transferred to A accumulator, and accumulator say we are transferring to SBUF because we call a call, that is absolute call to our procedure, or we can't call it as a procedure here, routine, call as a trans routine. And that's why the accumulator value is transferred to the SBUF, buffer register. And then that value, whenever it will get a stop bit from your character, because a start bit is there, then your character ka ASCII value is there, and then the character is ended with a stop bit. So whenever it gets a stop bit, whenever it starts to send a stop bit into the SBUF, then that time it raise the transmit interrupt as an 1. Till that your transmit interrupt having a value 0. Okay, whenever it gets transferred completely, the character is transferred completely, that time only the TI bit gets getting 1. Fine. And then what it will do, whenever this bit is set by default, whenever this bit is setting, it's set to 1, it will we need to clear the TI bit for the next character. After it will return from this trans, and then in accumulator you are considering the ASCII value of I character. So that is a 49. Again it will call to the trans, it will come here, it will move that value to the buffer, then continuously you monitor the TI bit. This is called as an polling method. In this program the polling method is used. ISR based program is not present right now. This is not an ISR based program. Don't say this is an ISR based program. ISR based program is a different one. I will tell you in the next session. Okay, for today's session, it's fine. Okay, you just try to understand that we are continuously monitoring the TI bit. Whenever the stop bit will come from the first character, it will set the TI bit, that is transmit interrupt, as an 1, and then explicitly we have to now see here. Okay, continuously the TI bit is not right now not as an 1. Okay, now it will say to 1. You can now, this is an option present, step out. So from your routine, if you want to step out, then it will just step out to the next statement, whatever present after the routine. So in this way you can check your execution. All of you getting the basic execution of your serial port programming. please share your whatever the problems or whatever the things are there with regarding with the program called as an assignment number 9. Yes, any problem, anything which you are not getting right now, or you are able to understand? Okay, so can we stop our meeting, today's meeting? At this point, I will tell you how to implement the same program, okay, through the ISR base. Because TI is nothing but a polling method we are using. Again, I'm repeating, polling and interrupt, these two methods are there. Yes, definitely. I will share my video with all of you, those who are attending the meeting. Thanks very much. Thank you very much for attending a meeting and for asking me the questions. Is there a difference between using a call and a jump? Yes, obviously there is a difference. Whenever you are using a jump instruction, that time permanently your program counter is moving at that location. Whenever you are using a call, that time you are returning from that routine. So a call is for the routine and jump is for your moving a pointer permanently at a particular location. Any other doubt? Any other doubt? If you have any other doubt, please ask me. Can I stop our meeting? Any other question up to this? So tomorrow at the same time, we will take the Zoom meeting for the remaining part called as an assignment number 10 and 11, as well as the remaining part of your assignment number 9. Is it fine to all of you? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay, I say end meeting. Fine. Thank you very much, all of you.